Today on Talking Solutions, we're going to be discussing disaster preparedness, and with us from the Nevada State Contractors Board, Jennifer Lewis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Also, Frank Rukowski. We've had you in with the Red Cross before.
Happy to be back.
It's good to have you both here. Now, the subject of disaster preparedness. From what I understand, Jennifer, the Nevada State Contractors Board is celebrating a 75th anniversary.
We are.
So, in order to celebrate this big milestone, you're getting out and spreading awareness on a lot of important topics. And today's topic, as we mentioned, disaster preparedness.
That is correct.
How did you get involved with all of this?
I am a public information officer with the board, and I'm really just here to promote the board's message. We are a free public resource, and that's really the message we want to get out to everybody. For disaster preparedness, we really want to highlight the importance of hiring licensed contractors. We'll provide some more information as the interview continues relative to how you can do that.
Absolutely. And when people take shortcuts and say, I met this guy down by the hardware store, and he's going to take care of it really cheaply, and that's what you end up getting.
Yes, you often get what you pay for, unfortunately, and it's not until after the fact that you end up probably spending more money to have it done correctly, is what we find out time and time again.
That gives a whole new meaning to the phrase disaster preparedness.
Yes, it does.
Make sure you use a licensed contractor. We'll get back to that. Frank, what's going on with the American Red Cross? You guys are on the news every day. What they're saying on the news is another 30 people displaced today by fire, and the Red Cross is helping.
Yeah, exactly. The Red Cross, we've been busy. Our volunteer teams have been going out just about every day to help a family or a group of people who have lost their homes to a house fire. And, it's sad, but we rely on the support of the community to help support our mission, either by donating or volunteering. So we're happy to be a part of the Southern Nevada community.
Here in Southern Nevada, one of the main disasters that we all face is fire. And we've been very interested all year in the Fire Hurts Red Cross Helps campaign. People being burned out of their homes. And the average that I'm seeing is about one a day. And I think the funds that the Red Cross, correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, looking for the Fire Hurts Red Cross Helps campaign, about $350,000 to be able to pull this off for the year.
Yeah, exactly. That money goes towards giving families hope. Because once you're in a disaster, you don't know what comes next. So we're there to help them provide emergency relief assistance and also help them down the line figure out what they need to recover.
That's very good to know, Frank. When the fire happens, frequently the firefighters, the emergency personnel, are still on site when the Red Cross is there to ask you, how are you doing? We're here to help. And the Red Cross is not just there at that moment. They also stay bonded with those families until they're back and functioning normally. So it's not just a 15, 20-minute, one hit, let me help you overnight thing. It's more, we're going to help you get back and function.
Yeah, exactly. Our caseworkers call up these people that are displaced, and they help them days, weeks, or months after to see what they need, because after a fire, you might not know what you need. So after a week, you might say, hey, this is another service I might need, and we help them get it.
I know you rely heavily on volunteer help.
Yeah, our volunteers, they respond to a fire 24 hours a day, weekends, holidays. The Red Cross is over 90% volunteer, so we couldn't do it without them.
You've got a few employees who handle everything, and then volunteers who help you achieve the mission.
Exactly. As paid staff members, our role is really to empower the volunteers, because our mission has the phrasing that we are empowering volunteers to help in their community.
Frank, the website, you find out some really cool stories about the Red Cross and the things that you do. And it would be really interesting. I think people should consider popping onto your website, taking a look at things, and then looking inside themselves to see if maybe they could help in some way. Because there are several different ways that you can help the Red Cross achieve what you do for us every single day, 24/7, 365. Donating, of course. Volunteering, though, that would be something that would be very important.
Of course. And again, there's not just one avenue to volunteer. We have disaster services. We have preparedness, health, and safety, which has to do with teaching people CPR and first aid. We have our blood services and international services. So when a family comes here and has to contact another family member or friend in a war-torn area, our volunteers will help facilitate that message getting to that area.
What is the website?
redcross.org/Southern Nevada.
You guys also provide smoke detectors for people who don't have them. Do you still have that program going?
Definitely. We provide provide free smoke alarms for people that can't afford them because we believe that preparedness is one of the best things you can do to keep your family safe. We want everyone to have a smoke alarm because you only have about 2 minutes to get out of a home once the home catches fire. If you call 702-697-1707, you can get a free smoke alarm. We install it and everything.
702-697-1707. And like always, we'll have information on the Talking Solutions Facebook page, along with the podcast of today's discussion. Jennifer Lewis with the Nevada State Contractors Board. I know one of the things that you emphasize as we celebrate the 75th anniversary is when we're having work done around our house, anything, we need to use a licensed contractor because that in itself is a safety issue.
Absolutely. Primarily when you're dealing with electrical, plumbing, HVAC repairs, or your refrigeration, anything that's a life safety trade, we really want to ensure, and it's required by law, that you use a licensed contractor in those trades. Any work that's valued over $1,000, we often hear of our handymen. It's important that homeowners know that any work over $1,000, including labor and material, requires a licensed contractor. If you have any questions or concerns, please call us ahead of time before you hire your contractor. Let us know what your scope of work is, and we'll be happy to tell you what classification is necessary to perform that work, if any. But you can reach us at 702-486-1100.
702-486-1100. That would be a smart call to make before you do that home repair, that upgrade, whatever's needed around your house.
By hiring a licensed contractor, you're really getting the full protection of the board. One thing that I think a lot of homeowners don't realize, we have a couple different avenues. We provide full investigative services. So after hiring a licensed contractor, if you're not satisfied with the work that was done, you have up to 4 years to file a complaint with our office. We'll go out, we'll send an investigator, do a job site visit. If we validate that there are workmanship issues, we'll order your contractor to correct those free of charge to you.
Whoa.
If the contractor fails to comply with those, we take them forward to disciplinary hearing, and then you as a homeowner may be eligible for our residential recovery fund, which can afford you up to $35,000 in financial recourse. That's probably our best protection when hiring a licensed contractor. When you hire your unlicensed contractor, who may be cheaper, you are really increasing your liabilities. They often don't carry workers' comp insurance, so if they get injured while they're at your house, you're liable, whereas licensed contractors are required to carry that. Additionally, you don't have the protection of the board. We cannot go in and order an unlicensed contractor to make those repairs, so you will have to unfortunately go through civil litigation in order to recoup your losses, which is a very costly avenue.
If you can find the person that you paid the cash in advance to who disappeared.
Exactly.
And didn't do the work or did a shoddy job. That's not something anybody wants to go through.
No.
I did not realize that the Nevada State Contractors Board, though, had so many protections after the fact to make sure that you're satisfied with the quality of your work.
We do. That's more of our reactive services, and certainly, part of today's message is to really promote the proactive, how homeowners can be proactive in doing their diligence ahead of time to do the research on their contractors. Always ask for that license number. It's important that homeowners know contractors carry a business license and also a contractor's license. So very important to ask specifically for the contractor's license number. Verify that on our website or call our office. We'll give you a whole history printout of that licensee to let you know if there's any disciplinary actions, if their license is in good standing. We'll also give you some other details relative to their bond information, business contact, their monetary limit, how much they can contract for, and that type of stuff that helps make an educated decision.
That makes it kind of a one-stop shop because you contract with someone or you get someone lined up to do work. You don't have to first check with the Better Business Bureau, and you don't have to check all these other places. If we just get in touch with you at the Nevada State Contractors Board, you're going to give us the green light that this is a good contractor. This person has proven that they do good work.
Contractors Board should be your first point of reference when it comes to researching your contractor. The other entities that you mentioned are more review-based, so you'll get more consumer reviews and their engagement as far as filing complaints maybe with those entities. But our office really is the main regulator of their license. So if there's any disciplinary against them, that's pretty egregious when it happens and it's on their record.
Jennifer Lewis is with us with the Nevada State Contractors Board as part of their celebration of 75 years of service to all of us here in Southern Nevada. They're getting out and talking about some really important topics, and today they reached out and said, why don't we talk about disaster preparedness? People know that they need to be prepared that disasters happen, but we don't do anything about it. We don't get set up. Jennifer, in the case of having work done around the house, what do you suggest how should we proceed?
My first point of caution is to not think of disaster as a large scale, a huge, community impacting scenario. Disasters can be your water heater exploding in the middle of the night or your air conditioning going out in the middle of summer. So for those key trades, those key services that you're going to need, we recommend doing your homework in advance, putting together a contact list, much like you would an emergency list for family members. Research at least 3 contractors in each of those trades and just keep their information updated. Keep their license number, their phone number, and before you give them a call when an emergency strikes, you have all that ready. You know that they're in active and good standing, and you can call them with confidence.
Used to be back in the day, we'd all be looking through the yellow pages. I don't even know. Do you even see those anymore?
Very rarely.
I think we're all using smartphones, but not a big commitment of time to get that information and have it handy. I know my husband right now is a little suspicious of our refrigerator freezer. It's still working, but he keeps cautioning. We need to know what we're going to do if there's an issue.
Right.
And it happens all the time with your appliances. And yes, you're right, Jennifer. It can be a disaster in your house. It doesn't have to be an earthquake, a flood, a fire to be a disaster for you.
All your appliances going out right before a family holiday when you have everybody coming over, those key moments that you just never want that to happen. I would like to also let the public know we have a mobile application which makes looking up a license number very easy on your smartphone. So if you just look at NSCB or Nevada State Contractors Board, upload that, and then as long as you have your reference sheet in those times of need, you can pull your phone up in 2 seconds, look up that license number, just make sure that your contractor's still in good standing, and give them a call and get a bid.
Much easier. NSCB, like Nevada State Contractors Board?
Correct.
We will have that on the Talking Solutions Facebook page. Frank, how are things as far as the Red Cross this summer? You guys have had, I know, a lot of fires. That happens around here all the time.
Things have been busy. On average, the Red Cross responds to a home fire about every 20 hours in southern Nevada, so our disaster teams have been really busy.
Boy, you want to talk disaster? It may not be one of those apartment fires that takes out dozens of people and families and different units that are put out of service because of a fire. It's just that one fire that affects you that most certainly is a disaster in your world.
Exactly. I mean, we could have a multi-unit apartment fire or just one person. It changes their lives. It turns everything upside down. So that's why we want our volunteers there to help them through that situation.
It rocks your world. And if you would like to find out more about what the Red Cross here in Southern Nevada has going, they do rely very heavily on volunteers. They can use donations for the, I know it's year-long, Fire Hurts, Red Cross Helps. Jennifer, what else do you want to get across to us? What would you like us to know about the Nevada State Contractors Board?
I think in terms of post-disaster, and we talk a lot about preparedness, which we certainly want homeowners to be aware of, but kind of in line with the Red Cross, when a disaster of a large scale, whether it's a fire in some of our communities or flash floods that happen, we had those last year or the year before, where several homeowners are affected, we may see unlicensed contractors coming to solicit services door to door. They know that you're in a vulnerable state, that you need emergency and immediate help, and we really just want to caution homeowners not just to look at the price tag, to really ask the right questions, ask for that contractor's license number, because that's when you'll get scammed. And unfortunately, it is in your most vulnerable state. Oftentimes, we'll see project abandonment, so you're paying that money up front. Just some general key tips that we have. When available, get at least 3 bids, never pay in cash. And our general recommendation is to never pay more than $1,000 or 10% upfront. You definitely want your payments to be in line or in accordance with the work performed. So as long as you can follow kind of those basic things, make sure that your contract is very detailed so that should something go wrong, we as the Contractors Board have a very clear understanding of what agreements you made with your contractor. We've seen contracts written on napkins that simply is just, like work to be performed $10,000 and labor $5,000. That doesn't give us any guidance as to what was supposed to have been done. So just make sure everything's in writing, you keep everything, you document it, because like I said, you have up to 4 years if it's a licensed contractor to file a complaint with our board.
Jennifer, you're so right. When you're talking about these disasters, it might be your whole neighborhood that's affected by a flash flood here during monsoon season, but it's affecting each one of us as individuals.
Absolutely.
And you're so correct that when something like that happens, the vultures descend. They've got us in their sights, and they're going to be going, as you said, door to door, offering incredible deals. My guys are right here. We can start work right Right now, we just need cash in advance, and I don't see any contractors' numbers. On legitimate commercials that you hear on radio, you see on TV, that you see in print, it has Nevada State Contractors License numbers as part of that ad.
That's a requirement by law.
It's an important thing for them to have for a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm. I would caution, too, that, we certainly recommend going with family or friend or neighbor referrals, but still do your diligence. Even if 100 people come to you and say that this guy does amazing work, still verify for your own protection that they are licensed with the board.
And that's easy to do. Can they call you at the Nevada State Contractors Board if they have questions or concerns or need information?
Absolutely. 702-486-1100. You're welcome to call me as well, and I can give you personalized service. My direct line, 702-486-1111.
Excellent. Frank, what would you like us to know?
We talked about smoke alarms, and for us, the most important thing is life safety. So having that device in your home and in each room, it goes a long way to making your home safer. But also, another part of the Home Fire Preparedness campaign is the Pillowcase Project. We go around to local schools or organizations, and we teach our youth about disaster preparedness. This project started in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. When people started coming to our shelters, we would see them arrive with a pillowcase filled with clothes and water and food. We wanted to turn this into a program where we teach kids, have a pillowcase, draw some items on it, like a radio, food, flashlights. Then they'll know every time there's a disaster, every time there's an emergency, they can take those items, put them into the pillowcase, and get to safety.
You were saying, Frank, that in a case, for instance, with a fire, that you have 2 minutes to get out of the house, get out safe. The smoke alarm is critical to help make sure that you have as much time as possible. But if you have the Pillowcase Project and the kids are educated on that, they probably have in mind what they need. They've been through this early training, this simple educational experience that tells them there are things that you need to take with you when something terrible happening.
Exactly, and the great thing about kids is they will share that information with everyone they know, hopefully their parents, and then they'll teach their parents about disaster preparedness.
When you teach kids about saving water and brushing teeth, better not have the water turned on. You're going to get a lecture. Lectures from kids are the best.
Exactly.
Because their intent is very pure. They're just trying to make sure everybody knows the important facts. I always ask on Talking Solutions, what can we do to help you? Jennifer?
I think from the contractor's perspective, really just helping us to get the word out. So if you've used a licensed contractor, just spread that information. If you've utilized the board services in any way, let other friends and family know. Let your neighbors know the importance of verifying a contractor's license before they do work. Really, it's just about spreading our message and letting people know that we are truly a free resource to the public. We're here to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public and promote the integrity of the industry. So the more that we can help our consumers and the industry at large share that message with others, the more proactive we hope homeowners will be and less reactive we will have to be as far as complaints are concerned.
And the 75th anniversary, going strong, the Nevada State Contractors Board. You have a lot of members. I would think it's thousands.
We have over 15,000 licensed contractors in the state of Nevada. And I should note that it's important that homeowners know contractors from other states have to have a Nevada contractor's license. So they may be licensed in California or Arizona, but they would be considered an unlicensed contractor here in Nevada. So just a point of caution in case you're in a border city. But we have 15,000 licensed contractors, and we are a 7-member board that's appointed by the governor. Those appointments are 3-year terms. So we constantly are changing and evolving and hopefully progressing.
It's a resource all of us here in Southern Nevada should know that we have at our fingertips.
Absolutely.
Nevada State Contractors Board, NSCB. Frank, what can we do to help the Red Cross?
Volunteer and donate. We rely on donations and volunteer hours to carry out our mission.
You offered services to everyone, regardless of income. If a fire hits, you're there. If a disaster hits, you're there. You're not going, I think they make a little too much money. They don't need our help.
Right. A disaster doesn't know socioeconomic bounds or religion or political party affiliation. We help everyone that is displaced in a disaster, and we try to help them recover after it.
My last question for both of you. Frank, what kind of satisfaction do you get out of being with the Red Cross?
It's great. Every day I work with amazing people. Our volunteer corps is incredible. They come and they work as hard as anyone I've ever seen, all to deliver the mission of helping other people in their times of need.
I always get a good splashback on that. When you reach out and help somebody, not expecting anything in return, not needing anything back, it just gives you such a warm feeling. You're being a true part of the community, and this is a wonderful community when it comes to helping and giving to others.
It really is. Southern Nevada Nevada community has been incredible.
That's what I find. People don't know until they get into it. Jennifer, what about you working with the Nevada State Contractors Board?
I would probably echo the same sentiments. I mean, there's no greater satisfaction. We have a very dedicated staff. Whether you're an applicant looking to become licensed, our staff really takes the time. As a small government agency, I know a lot of people have negative thoughts about government, but we are a very personalized service. So when you file a complaint with us, there's a lot of satisfaction to go in and help a homeowner. And in 90% of our cases, I believe, we do. We satisfy a homeowner in remedying the issue. For contractors, if they're having money owing disputes with other contractors, we can help come in and settle those without it having to escalate to a more expensive avenue. I think it's just knowing that you're there to protect the public, and we do so on a daily basis. And you see the passion in our investigators. You see the passion in our criminal investigators who want to take these unlicensed contractors off the street. The interactions that we have with the industry and homeowners at large. There's a lot of value and much to be proud of that we do at the board.
The building here in Southern Nevada has really ramped up. You see it all over the place. Home building, apartments going up, new businesses, office parks, all kinds of things happening. I would think that you're even busier than you would be in a more quiet time.
We are, and certainly we're seeing an uptick in construction, so that can bring good news and bad news. Fortunately, we haven't seen a sway either way yet. We're still kind of early on, but definitely good to see the activity. We like to know that the economy's picking up, but we certainly appreciate the opportunities to get here and advise homeowners on how they can be proactive, ensuring that they're stepping into a safe and secure situation before getting taken advantage of.
We can use you in the beginning to help us have the information we need to know to make a good choice.
Correct.
After the fact, if it doesn't go as planned, you're on our side, our advocates.
Right.
And we need to realize what an important resource the Nevada State Contractors Board is.
Absolutely.
You're spreading the word. You're doing a great job. Jennifer Lewis with the Nevada State Contractors Board. And also Frank Rakowski returns from the American Red Cross. Thank you so much for joining us today on Talking Solutions.
Thank you.
Thank you.